She sells seashells by the seashore. All right, everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back. I thought I'd give you guys something to digest that we need to get into. We have a lot of cars here, and I never really showed you around our shop, so I thought I'd dig in, and I have Matthew with me here as well into some cars. So we'll start with this one. This is my R32 GTST 4-door. I got this for a great price from my boy Sosa a couple months ago, and it's finally time to dig into this. We have a lot of work to do. It is a bare chassis, and I wanted to get this car because I wanted my form of a simple seat time car. I really only know Skylines. S chassis aren't my thing, but they kind of are. Skylines, S chassis being the same car. So with this, I wanted to build something that you could build at home. What I mean by that is every part that's going in here, as long as you got a friend that can fabricate, do some type of wiring, and a knucklehead that can put it all in, you should be able to do this. So the plan with this is to find a JDM Skyline engine. When I was in Japan, I saw a bunch of Skylines and freaking got super euphoric and overloaded with all kind of stuff. I'm putting a VQ HR35 in here. I've always admired the V-Cube. I've always admired the G35 4-door. I won't recognize it as a Skyline, but unfortunately it is a Skyline in Japan. That's just the way it is, and it's not very much different. So yes, it's the same car, but we're gonna put a JDM Skyline engine in this Skyline. So we got a VQ35 HR, not the DE, DE being single intake, HR being dual intake. Matter of fact, I have it in the corner. So I got it from Sac City. They found me a legit JDM Skyline engine, which I'm super happy about. That's this one. And then let's move on to the next cars. All right, everybody, so this is my boy Matthew. If you don't know him, he damn near builds everything that I have. He damn near checks up on everything I have, and whatever I need a part, he tells me what I should get. I never argue with him because don't argue with the crew chief. You know what I'm saying? He knows what's best, and he's gonna explain some more cars to you.
All right, so this here is our boy Gilbert's 1993 Nissan 240SX. It's a K824 DE. The cool thing about this build is we kept the engine that came with the car. Usually people like to swap things out, RB, JZs, V8s, all that stuff. We kept it simple. It's a built bottom end, CP pistons, I think Brian Crown rods, IRP sets, all the stuff you need to make good power. It has a GT28 by Garrett, makes I think 450 torque and 400, 440, something like that. Yeah, it's a really solid car. Has all full suspension. It's just a simple drift car that makes good power. So the reason why we decided to build the K8, because it's honestly cheaper to build a K8 than it is to buy an SR. The current prices after the pandemic pretty much made it almost stupid to swap one of these things in. So using the K8 was a good choice. All right, so now let me show you my car. So you may have seen this car in previous episodes. We did dyno it back in November and made 500 at like 23 PSI using a Garrett GT3071. It's an RB25, completely bone stock. I have no idea what the condition of the engine is, but so far it's been holding up pretty good. So I'm super happy on how everything turned out. In November, we were jamming out, trying to get the car ready for the Hustlers Express event. Unfortunately, I had a little mishap. My lower control arm bent. Didn't have, didn't really get to do seat time like I wanted. In December, Gary and I had a last minute track event, and I sent it pretty hard into the greenhouse at balcony. So yeah, this is where we're at now. So immediately after the crash, I went online, ordered a cage kit to front, waiting for that to come in. As soon as that's in, we're gonna chop the front, put the cage kit, finish putting the aero, body kit, and paint, then I should be on my way to get more seat time.
All right, everybody, if you don't know this car, this is my R33 GTR, AKA Perfect Cell. I've had this car since 2015, going on damn near 10 years now, and we've never really addressed any issues with the car. It's always been a quick fix, simple like Band-Aid issues, but we're finally going to get to what we need, and I'll show you what I mean. So unfortunately with this car, it's had its downfalls, dropped the valve, too big of a turbo, wrong fuel mixtures, this, that, and the third, a bunch of other people's problems that I've had with this car. When I originally got this car, it was a twin turbo RB26 DETT, and when the turbos started going out and the gasket started going out, then I went to single turbo. At the time I had a Borg-Warner was it XX390 or SX366. So when you saw my build breakdown, if you don't know, I did a build breakdown on Hoonigan. That's the turbo I had. That sounded like kind of like an HKS 251R. But then we went through 4 turbos now. Yeah, we went through 4 turbos, And then I finally got a turbo from my pops, Scott Bertzal, Old Smoky Garage. He gave me a GTW 3884R Garrett turbo. Now this turbo is great, but not for what I want to do. This is more of a turbo that makes a lot of power on the high RPM range, which is great. But since I track this car, I don't really feel comfortable staying in a high RPM range that much. RBs are very rev happy, but that's not what I want. I wanted a simple 500. That's all I told the tuner at the time that tuned this car. I was like, I just need a simple 500. They gave me like 630.
Damn!
And it didn't make 630 until like after like 5 grand, which is damn near unusable. So when you see me race the Hyundai or the Genesis on this versus that, that's what that is. But pretty much we're gonna clean this car up, do everything we can. A lot of people have come together and put parts for this car, so we're just collecting it. So first we're gonna change this wrap. I do love the livery on this car. The green is paint, but the livery is a wrap. So we're gonna take the wrap off and just go one solid color. I've never had this car simple, and that's always been kind of my issue. Like I've said, it's always been a quick fix to get to a show or get to the track, but we wanna just comb through it. This car's been on fire multiple times, just oil dropping on the downpipe. So we're gonna address everything this year so we can finally have a nice car. I would really want to emphasize, like when I went to Japan, everybody's shit was super clean and they used it. That was one thing I took away. Like here in America, people have Skylines, but they're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hurt my car. My coochie hurts. My coochie don't hurt. You feel me? Like I don't got a coochie. So I'm really just trying to still beat on this car, but I am retiring it from doing burnouts and everything because that's what the 34 is for. And then we have to come here. Now, I don't know how to say this without Mr. Matthew, so I'll bring Mr. Matthew here for this. For people that don't know, yes, I do work at Hoonigan. Yes, TSS is closed. And yes, it was kind of like a bargain hunt at the end of the day. When we chose to leave TSS, there was a lot of things that were just laying around, and it was a lot of, can I get this? How much? Like the $1 Million Man says, everything has a price. So I'm just going to just show you real quick. So if you recognize this car, then you recognize this car. We did acquire Mr. Jonathan Nadiri's old EG hatch. This is Mr. Aldo's car, which is Matthew's cousin. It was for a great freaking deal. I don't want to give away the price, but pretty much it was in damn near the same condition physically as it was in the video. When we got it, no seats, no steering wheel. You want to pop the hood, Mr. Matt? So, for many people wondering what was going on with this project, I couldn't tell you. I pretty much asked Soupy and I asked Naz what was the condition of this car when we did get it. It was more or less, they were going to do the VTEC swap, but then they just stopped. Something happened. I don't know what happened, but pretty much what we're going to do is continue that VTEC swap for Aldo. He'll be here more to do this, but pretty much just keep it simple. Simple B series, VTEC head, and just have it running so he can have a nice clean track/daily car. This car came with a lot of shit in it that we didn't know. So if you ever watched the video of when they're building this car, everything that was supposed to come in that car, which is this, is still in this car. So let's put it this way, we got a hell of a deal. Yeah. So if it were up to me, I was trying to, how do I put this without sounding like a dickhead? There were other cars that I wanted there personally that meant something to me that I couldn't get because they're going to be used for events this year. So we are planning to do events. We are planning to come to cities closer to the Midwest, I'd say, and closer to the East Coast, which is great to know. But I still would have liked to buy the cars that they had there, but it is what it is. And the only reason they did sell this was because we have more cars coming in, more collaborations, more opportunities. So this was one of those things, like it lived this life. Nads moved on with it. He got him an EK hatch, which he really wanted. This was like a gift. He's not ungrateful or anything like that. It was just more or less like, hey, thank you. I don't really need this anymore. I'm moving on. With that being said, we'll move on to the next one. So next we have up is the Booty Hustler S14.5, and you're like, what the hell is the S14.5? So usually when you hear points or things, S14.5 being the S15 front end, you can't really tell, but most S chassis owners know. So this will be the Booty Hustler's car. This is Josh and Noosa's car. They're building this V8 swap, just something simple. Over here, it's like, I understand kids, V8 swaps are boring, V8 swaps are just dime a dozen, as they say, but over here, we're about simplicity. We don't have a lot of money to be swapping in these super unique engines. Like I always tell kids, all these super unique swaps, you never see them getting used. They usually just swap them in, sit them at a show, and that's it. K-Series, yes, this, that, and the other, but at the end of the day, when you're doing an engine swap, just be prepared to spend a minimum of 10 grand. And usually for an LS swap, around 10 grand is like what you're gonna spend. Don't quote me on that. It depends how in depth you go, but that's the goal with this car. She wanted a cool seat time car, clean title, another car we got for a deal. You were asking probably, how do you get cars for a deal? You really just gotta research. Every night around 12 o'clock, I go on OfferUp. Matt probably goes on Facebook Marketplace, but we go on every platform to find deals. Like this one, like the 32, I was literally on OfferUp, and I just type in what I'm looking for, but you have to type in a way that you'll know. So I'll give you a little secret. If you type in E46, you're not gonna find a good car. You're just gonna find people who are selling E46s because they know them by the chassis code. So what you need to do is type in 1999 BMW 3 Series, and then it'll come up with all the 3 Series in your area. That way you can more or less find a car for a good price. And usually you'll find somebody has parking tickets, car doesn't run properly, and or they need to move, or somebody passed away. And usually if you get the person with the parking tickets, you can kind of lower that price. That's how I got the OBS. OBS dude wanted like 4,500, ended up getting it for 15 because he owed so many parking tickets. But we're not gonna give you all the tricks of the trade. I'll give you a little bit. It's up to you to do the research, and it really depends what area you look in. Everybody, the goal for 2024, if you wanna know, is we just wanted to do simpler stuff that got us further. Thank you everybody for supporting us. There's more to come. And if there's any type of builds you would wanna see, that's in our wheelhouse. We do Hondas, Nissans, any type of swaps you wanna see, just let us know. Remind you, we're on a budget, but the thing is, an email can go a long way. An email can go a hell of a long way. So have a good night, good evening, good afternoon. Stay black.